Welcome back, future elementary educators. We shift our focus now to take a look at geometry. We spend a lot of time with geometry in this course. And if we're going to spend a lot of time with geometry, we have to spend a lot of time talking about vocabulary because geometry's vocabulary is very, very precise. So we spend a fair amount of time talking about points and lines and planes. Now, going all the way back to Euclid some 2,000 years ago, Euclid would talk about points, and he would say in Greek that a point is that which has no parts. It's the smallest of the smallest of the smallest of things. There is no part to a point. It's infinitesimally small, which worked for the time. It's less rigorous than we'd like it to be. Uh, it's a dot. And the way modern geometers look at points, we would say that a point is what you think it is. We don't really take time to define it. It is what you think it is. It's a dot. Why? Because when Euclid talks about lines, Euclid talks about lines as that thing that heads one-dimensionally forever in both directions. Well, what makes up that line? Well, a bunch of these make up that line. And if these don't have any parts, then how can I string a bunch of them together and get a line? That doesn't really make sense if that line goes infinitely in both directions. It's an infinite bunch of nothings that doesn't sit well. So a line, well, a line is what you think it is. It's that thing that goes straight, whatever that means, in both directions, right? Because, I mean, what's straight depends somewhat on your surface, which brings us to this thing, right? What do we mean by a plane? Well, we mean a flat surface. In Euclidean geometry, which is the geometry we teach to young people, a plane is a flat surface. It's a tabletop, it's a road, it's a flat surface that just goes forever in two perpendicular directions. More on perpendicular later. How do we name them? We normally name points with one letter, usually P for point. We name lines with 2 points on the line because once you have 2 points on the line, you have a line. So we would either write line AB or we would write line AB. We don't write line AB with the symbol on the top because if we use the word, we don't need the symbol. If we use the symbol, we don't need the word. Sometimes for convenience, we give the line a name like L because we don't want to talk about which points are on the line. We just want to talk about a generic line. And in that case, we talk about line L. We don't put the symbol on top of the L. If it takes 2 points to determine a line, it takes 3 points to determine a plane, right? It takes 3 points to determine a plane. This is why stools with 3 legs always sit nicely on a floor, but stools with 4 legs, sometimes that 4th leg is up from the floor. So we would call this plane GEN. Sometimes we want to just talk about a plane without talking about points in the plane. So in the same way that we sometimes name lines L or M or N, we can name a plane with a Greek letter. Your textbook calls that gamma. That's a lowercase gamma. And so we would say plane gamma. Okay? Okay. So other things your text talks about. If we have a line and there are points on the line, maybe these points are on the line, then this is line AB. Oh, I did the thing. This is line AB. You caught that though. You knew I had to change that. Good for you. We could also call it line AC. We could name it by any 2 points that are on the line. We say that A, B, and C are collinear. They lie on the same line. They are collinear. And we say that B is between A and C. When we say between, that implies two things. It means that B lies on the same line that A and C do, and it means that AB plus BC is AC. The distance from A to B plus the distance from B to C is the distance from A to C. That's what that means. That's how you know that one point is between two others. Now, sometimes we don't care about lines. Sometimes we just care about parts of lines, right? Sometimes we just care about parts of lines. When we care about the part of a line that starts at point A and ends at point B, this is segment AB, or if you like, segment AB. It's a closed segment. Your book talks about half open and half closed segments. We don't really care too much about those things. Sometimes we go all the way to this point but not to it, or all the way to this point but not to it. It's just a weird notion to think about. Normally when we think about segments, we think about them having an endpoint here and an endpoint there. Sometimes we think about the part of a line that starts at one point and goes through another. When we talk about the part of a line that starts at one point and goes through another, this is a ray AB, or if you like, ray AB. Now, ray AB is not the same as ray BA, right? Because ray AB, that's this ray starting at A and going, but ray BA is the ray that starts at B and heads that way through A. They are not the same ray. Okay? We do sometimes think generally about a ray as half a line, but that's silly. You can't take something that's infinite and divide it in half. That's not a thing. I will not refer to a half line because I don't know what that means. You would have to take a line and divide it in half at its middle, and I don't know where you find the middle of a line. So we talk about segments, we talk about rays. In the next video, we'll talk about how lines and planes come together so that we can take these notions and extend them so that they interact with each other.